Welcome back to the Ride and Laugh podcast. If you love mountain biking, you are in the right place. Today's Ride and Laugh episode is a short and sweet, quick rip to keep the Stoke going and the vibes high.
Yes.
Let's drop in. Sage, are you ready to keep the Stoke going for the week?
Oh, yeah. We ain't going to let our listeners down, man. We got it. We got this. We got you.
You get your Ride and Laugh every Wednesday on your podcast player or your YouTube. We keep the vibes going, even when we're on vacation, even when we're busy. We got these quick rips. Let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about top mountain bike features. And we need lots of comments from the listeners on the YouTube because this is going to be hotly debated. What are our favorite mountain bike features and maybe some not so favorites? What do you got, Sage?
You know what my favorite is. It's got to be skinnies. I absolutely love skinnies, and I feel terrible that you got none in Arizona.
Favorite? You going favorite with skinnies?
I mean, what's not to love, Danny? They're so challenging.
They're terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't that what makes a good feature? Being like some kind of risk involved? Maybe not. I don't know. For me, that's like a part of it.
I think being difficult does make it more fun. That's for us, at least. YouTube comments, Ride and Laugh 1 at Gmail, if you feel otherwise. But I do think there's having it be difficult definitely makes it more fun and gives you a higher stoke. Skinnies, I just think for whatever reason, they suit you so well. And I think part of that is because you do not panic. You stay present. You stay grounded. You don't have voices in your head telling you, this is too scary. We're too high up. This is too narrow. You just lock in and ride. When I do a skinny, I got lots of voices telling me that this is a bad idea.
Shut up, everyone.
Yeah. But it is amazing that when we really started riding them regularly at Mount Penn, because they started building more and more of them, and I was able to just get my confidence going and stop thinking.
Yeah.
Once I stopped thinking, keep your eyes up. It is very doable. And there is a high level of stoke when you are able to accomplish some of these really difficult skinnies and teeter-totters and all sorts of crazy lines. And I will say the Southwest, we don't have long wooden skinnies out here, but we have some like pretty narrow ledges and exposure and lots of piles of rocks where you're getting up in the air and there's no room to put a foot down. So it's not a traditional skinny, but it's a very similar type of mindset where you're going to have to like really commit and stay focused, or there's going to be a consequence of falling off of something.
Yeah. You said the key word here, and that is commit. All the mountain bike features that we're probably going to talk about today, I bet, have a level of commitment that you have to make. Danny, give me your number one.
My number one is going to be the mountain bike drop. And I love drops because there's such a lower barrier of entry into learning how to do drops versus learning how to do jumps. And getting in the air on your mountain bike, getting those both tires off the ground is so much fun. Yeah. And when you start to learn that drop technique and you start going off centered on your bike, and you're spotting the landing and you're matching the landing, and the drops can just get bigger and bigger and bigger, exponentially bigger, and you can get more and more comfortable. It's so much fun. It's such a high level of stoke to get in the air on your mountain bike.
Just like you said, once you learn the technique, it's just about the speed. And once you have the speed, you can do pretty much any drop. And of course, each drop is going to have little nuances, but for the most part, especially like a wooden drop, like something that has a consistency to it, it is so much fun. How about, since we're talking about consistency and kind of applying a same move, what about slabs?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, big ones.
Big old slabs, big old slab of rock. Bring it on. What is so much fun about riding as slow and in controlled as you can on a steep, humongous slab of rock? Why is that so much fun? I was watching a video on YouTube the other day of Project Northeast, I think, riding what he said was the biggest, longest slab in the Northeast. And it's just him going really slow, and you can hear him skidding and you can hear his brakes. And I was like, man, that looks awesome. What is so fun about that?
It's the same reason why people love getting in the air. and doing big jumps. And that is,
Okay.
there's a feeling of no control. There's only so much control that you can have on a slab. At some point, your bike is going down this thing and there's nothing you can do about it. So you have to do all the preparation beforehand. What I mean by that is you have to be in the right body position. You have to take the right line in. You know, you have to have the right speed. But once you get to the crux, once you hit that commitment line, it's over. You just have to pray to God that you made all the right decisions. And jumps are the same thing. All the prep work has to be done before you get up into the air. Once you're in the air, you have no more control. That you don't have a rudder or a propeller that you can spin to like correct it. Nope. All the preparation has to be done before you get into the air. And then it's that freedom, that feeling of like, oh my God, I'm in the air. I'm doing this. The slab is the same thing. You're down this slab and you're like, oh my God, I'm going so fast. And then boom. Yo.
I think it's one of the things that makes mountain biking so much fun and why mountain biking is so high stoke and high vibe, because you have to be completely centered and present to do these things well and to do these things successful. So when you're mountain biking, you're present and you're centered. And I think that brings out the best in people. You're in that flow state. And that's why mountain bikers tend to be awesome, because we're really happy and we're present. We're doing something that we love. Those are such great examples of why riding a slab and why riding a jump is fun. It's the full commitment. You have to be completely in. Once you're doing it, once you're hitting that lip of that jump, you're in. Once you start rolling down that slab, you're in. There's no stopping. It's either stay present, trust your skills, or crash, or take a big chance of crashing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when we trust the universe, we trust our abundance, we trust our skills, and we succeed, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. And when you turn around and you look at that big giant slab and you're like, man, I just rode down that thing. And maybe it was slow, maybe it was fast. You know, the slabs in Natalie, like these things are like walls. Okay. Berms, another super huge, important mountain bike feature, right?
Yeah, you know I love berms. I mean, to me, it's a pump track on its side, as we've said before. You know, I love berms. If you know how to hit a berm correctly, you can actually pick up speed. It's exactly like a pump track where you just have this a G out, you know, as you're coming down on the bottom of the pump track, and then as you're coming up the hump, you're weightless again. It's the same thing in a berm, and I love that feeling. I really, really do. But there's a lot of trust.
I agree. Railing a berm is so much fun. I'm not nearly as good at it as I'd like to be, but the more I ride the pump track, the more you start to realize if you do this technique correctly, you will just stick to it. How about rock gardens? We got to go rock garden. We're slow speed tech guys.
I love rock gardens. I love a good challenge. I mean, it brings, you know, I one of my favorite rock gardens was the one that we did in Frederick. Oh my, what a challenge. Holy moly. This was just like physically draining. It is mentally draining. It's a challenge that is, I think, is a pretty acquired taste. You know, I don't know many people that actually look forward to a good rock garden.
Well, out here in the Southwest, I feel like there's a lot of people that enjoy rock gardens. I think there is a lot of people that enjoy rock gardens. I think that's one of the key things of mountain biking. And it takes that physical element. You got to keep your eyes up. You got to keep your legs going. You have to stay light. You have to be able to work the bike. You have to change the angle of the bike. You're riding a bike through rocks. There's something very primal about it. There's just something that feels really cool when you start to like get a rhythm through all these different size rocks and boulders. Maybe you get knocked offline and you just go over something anyway. It's so fun.
But here's the thing, though. You just made the statement that the riders that you're riding with, you know, enjoy rock gardens, but all the riders that you're riding with are very accomplished riders. If we're taking the whole of mountain bikers, you know, from beginners to pros, I got to say, I'm going to take a big stab at least 60 to 70% of those people probably don't enjoy the rock garden. I think more people prefer flow. I really do. I think more people prefer flow trails to rock gardens and such, you know. I don't know. True. That's just, maybe that's a hot take.
Well, I mean, no, I don't think I mean, it is a hot take, but I don't think that you're wrong. I do think that more people prefer flow. Oh. I think the people that I'm riding, when I say the people that I'm riding with like rock gardens, that's because I like riding rocks, you know, like I keep going back to South Mountain. with people that want to ride South Mountain, which is very rocky. So there is a lot of people that love flow trails. I still think that if you love mountain biking, even if you love the flow trails, I still think that there's some level of enjoying getting through a rock garden. Maybe not all the slow speed tech that we like, maybe not all the real big long rock garden, but the challenge of being able to ride your bike through rocks, I think, is really cool, regardless of which you prefer more.
We are just talking about flow trails. Ain't nothing better on a flow trail than hitting some jumps. My friend, we got two different jumps. We got tabletop style jumps, or I guess lippy jumps, that can be either gapped or not gapped. And then you have ramp jumps. Which one do you like more and why?
So lippy style jumps with tabletops versus gap jumps.
I mean, you could have a lippy jump with a gap. It can be tabled. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference?
Boy, I think they're both great features. I love that you were breaking jumps down into two different types or even three different types, because you have tabletops, you have lippy jumps, you have gap jumps, you have ramp jumps, 4 different types. I like them all.
Yeah.
It feels really good when you're confident and you can clear them all. My technique could use some improving on all of them. I think if I were to choose, I would say lippy tabletop jumps are my favorite.
Yeah.
The tabletop makes me it's like wearing pads or wearing a helmet. You know what I mean? It gives me a little bit more confidence if I were to need to, or if it's really big and I want to build up to it, not clear it all right away. That's really cool to have a tabletop to work on. And I like the lip because I feel like I can boost off of it a little bit more. I can put a little bit more into it. I have a little bit more control on the lippy jump. I know you love the ramp jump.
I'm going to surprise you, bro. I mean, now that I'm jumping a little bit, I'm 50-50, bro. Like, I love the ramp jump and its simplicity. We talked about, drops being, once you have a technique. The ramp jump for me is very similar to a jump, to a drop, in the sense that there's not much that you have to do. And you did point out that I did compress a little bit, and fine, maybe I compressed a little bit, but for the most part, you don't have to do too much on a ramp jump. And we've done some pretty big gaps, 20, 22 feet, 24 feet on a gapped ramp jump. I think that's absolutely exhilarating. I love that. But this year has been a year of jumps for me, and I have really enjoyed maneuvering the bike on these lippy jumps. So I mean, it started with clearing the jumps, but now that I'm clearing the jumps, I'm starting to add some moves in the air, and I've really enjoyed doing that. Would I go so far as to say I'd be confident if it was not tabletopped? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. And I guess we'll find out when I make it out to desert trails, because they have a pretty lippy wooden ramp jump that is gapped. And we'll see. We'll see if I would be comfortable hitting that. That would be the first lippy jump that has a gap that I would have done, I guess.
We're unlimited. We're going to get there. We are absolutely going to get comfortable on all sorts of jumps, all types of jumps. It's just a matter of repetition. It's just a matter of visualization and locking in and knowing that we're worthy of it and capable of it. And let's watch it happen. You thought of another feature.
I did. And I don't know how I feel about this feature. And I'm curious to get your thought. The step up. How do you feel about the step up jump?
I like the step up jump.
You do?
Yeah, I feel like you can really go for it and send it, and the consequence of not getting up to the top is not really all that big a deal. And if you oversend it, you're still just at the top.
It's very low risk if you think about it. I don't know why I'm so terrible at them. I think I should like step ups, and yet I don't.
Because they look scary. I think most step ups look really scary because you have to land. You have to land. So the step up jump the landing is higher than the takeoff. So in order to get up there, a lot of times these ramps are really, you're going super fast, and you really got to commit to it. Like the one at Mountain Creek in the crapshoot.
Oh God,
that thing. I mean, you're going so fast, and to commit to it. It does the every time I do it, I hit the brakes because it's going so fast. It's so scary. And then every time I land, I'm like, oh, I could have just like not hit the brakes and
I
just
know.
landed a few feet further and I would have been fine. It's just intimidating to look at these things sometimes. So
Yeah.
listeners, let us know, which type of jump do you like the most of all the jumps that we listed? Which one do you like the least and why? And which features do you like the most? What feature did we miss? I have one more feature. We don't really see them out here in the Southwest. What about a teeter-totter?
I'm going to surprise you on this one. I loathe teeter-totters unless they're part of a skinny. Because we have that one
that's
skinny.
so funny. Yeah. There's several skinnies that we do that have teeter-totters in them. Yeah.
I know. I love that because it's challenging, but a teeter-totter by itself, there's something about it. I just can't stand it, man. I never liked it. Even as a beginner, I never liked a teeter-totter. I don't.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
No, I don't think it's crazy. I think they're really weird. You know, like a teeter-totter is you're like riding up a ramp and then you have to like almost track stand while it changes directions. And then you have to keep your balance and then ride off of it. So it's like, it is very much a movable skinny. It is awkward. I don't think I've ever finished a teeter-totter and been like super stoked. You know, it's just like, I feel like I survived. Yeah. I feel like I survived. Now, the ones that are in the skinnies at Mount Penn, for whatever reason, they just add to the challenge and they make it more fun. I don't think of them as like part of the whole feature at large.
You know what? And maybe that's what it is. I've never felt like challenged. Like you said, I don't finish a teeter-totter. I'm like, Danny, can I get one up top? No, like it doesn't happen. Now, when you put a teeter-totter on a skinny, right? Now that's challenging. Like that is really, really difficult. And I do appreciate that. Yeah. But a standard teeter-totter? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that that's why I brought it up last. It's not like, yeah, we're going to the teeter-totter park. They got all these different teeter-totters. Said no one ever.
Ever. Yes.
Yo, we're getting a group together to go ride teeter-totters. You want in? It's gonna be all teeter-totters all day. We know this place. The Ride and Laugh guy set it up. It's all teeter-totters. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're teetering and tottering all over the place.
Well, you know, we must have missed a bunch. Yes. I feel like we missed a bunch.
I know. But hey, mountain biking's awesome. There's all sorts of features out there. People are probably yelling in their cars about what feature we just missed. So let us know. Get onto the YouTube, Ride and Laugh 1 at Gmail, YouTube comments. What did we miss? What's your favorite? Which is your top one? Any other comments? Anything that you want us to talk about in a longer podcast episode? Let us know. Comments are great for the algorithm. Comments help spread the podcast. If you're still listening, you are definitely one of us. You love mountain biking. We appreciate you. Please rate and subscribe on your podcast player. Please download on your podcast player. Please tell your friends about Ride and Laugh, and rate and subscribe on YouTube and leave a comment. Everyone have a great week and a great week of riding. Ride and Laugh.
I'll see everyone.